What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Game Changers podcast. My name is Coach Jay, and I am so pumped for you guys to be here. Today, we are going to be doing a Q&A. As you can tell if you're watching on the video version, I'm sitting on my bed. I have a messy bun, a comfy sweatshirt on, because I just want to sit and talk. It's been about a month since I've uploaded a podcast, which is not okay. First of all, not okay, but man, basketball season isn't even here yet, and this preseason is already kicking my butt, so that's why we've kind of rested a little bit. But before we get all into everything, cue the intro. Okay, so a quick update before we get started. There is a lot of changes for the Game Changers podcast. Okay, so the very first thing is that I started an Instagram page. I was going off of the @UsGirlsUnited page, and it just got way too confusing. There's some shifts happening with the business, and I just want you guys to be a part of it. So make sure to check out our Instagram. It's actually, I had to get like a really weird name, so I'm actually going to pull it up right now because, okay, so if you are on Instagram, go follow at the Game Changers Show, okay? That is where all the new, all the Instagram posts are going to be, all the reels, all the recaps, all the updates on the show. And then also, too, if you're watching this, you found the new YouTube channel. Yes, we are just making everything just super easy, brand friendly for you guys to find. I did make a Game Changers YouTube page, okay? And we're moving all that stuff on, so I'm not having the best time trying to find that. So I will have that linked for you guys in the Instagram page. So if you want to find the YouTube to where you can actually watch these full videos, if you're not watching now, head to at the Game Changers podcast or the Game Changers Show. Sorry, I'm messing everything up. And then find our YouTube and subscribe. That would be really amazing. And I would love for you guys to join the party over there. So yeah, that's the updates for now. There are some really, really big updates coming within hopefully the next month or so that I'm so pumped for you guys to see and just be a part of, and just finding more resources or finding more ways to give resources to you guys out there, because it's okay, let's just say this, I'm rambling a lot, but it is definitely something I wish I had when I was growing up, and I'm actually partnering with a really good friend of mine. She's been on the pod, so if that gives any hints or anything. So yeah, there's some really, really cool stuff happening on the podcast. And I'm so pumped. So praise God for that. Just opening doors. And it's just really cool. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we're just going to hop into the episode. We are doing a Q&A. That's why, I'm sitting on my bed again, comfy, sweatshirt, messy bun, all that good stuff. I just want to sit and chat to you guys and just have some heart-to-hearts, and also to kind of allow the Lord to just move within this podcast. And yeah, so I asked you guys to answer or to ask me questions on my Instagram. So either be following the podcast show or at Coach J, because that's where I'm going to be like asking a lot of questions, I'm sorry, guys, I can't talk today. That is where I'm going to be asking polls and the question thing, so you guys can ask questions and I can answer it here on the podcast. So with that being said, let's get started. So the first question we have here is, how long have you been coaching for? Okay, I believe this is year 3. Yes, this is year 3 of coaching, year 3.5, because, actually, when I was in high school, I would do a little bit of private training. So backstory for you guys, my whole family, for the most part, are athletes, coaches, or teachers. So it is like in my blood. If you guys want, I would love to actually give you a rundown on my testimony. I think that'd be super cool because I originally was not wanting to be a coach. There were times where I wanted to be a strength coach, all that good stuff, but the Lord really opened the door for me to be a coach. So my dad was a strength coach. He was a basketball coach. He was a football coach. He was all these things, right? And I would work out with him all the time, and I would also watch him train all the time. So there were times where I'd hop in and kind of run group classes, or I would run like private training every once in a while. I mean, I maybe had one client every few weeks. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. And then when I moved, or when I graduated college, I was in Florida, and I got with a AAU like organization, and I ran some skills. I kind of ran a team, just like I got busy with work or something, so I like coached like one tournament, and then I just did skills after that. And then that led me into actually my first year of coaching at a high school, and I coached a JV level. And then the following season I moved to I moved to California, which I'm at now, and I worked at a basketball training facility. I had my own clients. I got involved with a middle school club team, and then I also got involved with a local high school out here, and I coached the JV there as well. And then this year I am coaching, again, club, private training, and a middle school team. I'm taking a year off of school ball just because of it is a big time commitment, and I also want to build the business a little bit, build some online training. My clientele is building, so I just wanted to kind of take a step back. I'll probably join again. I would actually love to be a varsity assistant. That'd be really fun. I think that I could be a varsity head coach, but I just don't have the desire to do that. But I believe it'd be super fun to be like a true varsity assistant and learn under a really good coach. So, long story short, I've been coaching for 3.5 years, I would say. Ooh, okay. What's the coolest memory you have from childhood and basketball? Okay, well, there are so many that I could answer to this question. I would say that, well, one that comes to mind when it comes to athletics and family and just childhood is that my dad, going back to that, he's been on the podcast, so you guys should check out that episode because he's so wise, so wise. So he owned his own training business, a sports performance business. He travels and he consults strength coaches, athletes, all these cool things. And I just remember that he was one of the OG, like original people who would have a training facility in a garage. We never had a garage that was normal for cars. It was always for training, always for his business, always for other athletes. So I remember I would go and sit on the stairs to my garage for hours and watch him train. And then when he opened up a facility in New York, I remember I would wake up, I was like in fourth grade, I would wake up super early and go with him to his first session that I believe started at probably like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and I would stay with him till he closed. I did not want to leave. I wanted to be there and watch him train. I sometimes joined like 2 classes just because it was so fun, and I was so little and had like so much energy, so I got to join that, and I believe that that's where the seeds were being planted of wanting to coach and loving to be involved in like the private training or the group classes or just the sports performance and development aspect of things that I just literally got to watch it growing up. So that was such a cool memory. For sure when it came to basketball and kind of childhood. So that's what I would say. Again, there are so many cool memories that I've gotten to experience with the game of basketball and childhood. Just making friends and the memories we've got to make. I'm sure you guys know, especially if you play club now or have played club, like traveling with your team. And we did a lot of local stuff. So when we got to like travel an hour away or whatever and stay in a hotel, that was like a super fun time. So I would say that. Okay, so question number 3, where do you find your confidence and how do you battle insecurity? Okay, we're going to talk about Jay now, and then we'll kind of mix in Jay, like when high school Jay or whatever. Long story short, I've been a pretty confident person all through my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my insecurities and I battle that still. I'm not saying that I'm not. Overall, though, I've been pretty confident. But how did I get through that? So I'm actually going to give you guys some funny examples. So an example that I would do when it came to confidence in like an outfit or something, which is funny. I know this is not like athletically related, but I do believe that this could help and maybe free someone real quick with just some thoughts. So I would say there was like an outfit that I wanted to wear, and I would look in the mirror and be like, no, someone's going to think I'm weird for wearing this, or someone this, someone that, whatever. If I heard myself saying like, or caring about what someone else said or was going to think or potentially think about my outfit or my hair that day or what I was wearing, I forced myself to wear it because I was not going to let thoughts of what potentially someone else would think dictate how I operated. I did not like that. That's not how I wanted to operate. So I, from a young age, operated in that way. Now, did I struggle with insecurities? Absolutely. Body image stuff? Absolutely. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I look back on pictures from when I was an athlete and just saw that I had that athletic body, quote unquote. And at that time, like younger Jay literally thought that she needed to lose weight. And it's just like, it's hard. And I think especially just a lot of us deal with that, especially a lot of us women deal like with that and being in the athletic space and wanting to look athletic and fit and tone. And that's something I struggle with actually more now than anything. And it's just a constant battle. For me, it's just constantly reminding myself where my identity lies, and that is in Jesus, and knowing that God is my creator and he created me just as I am. So just having those thoughts of like, if I am really hard on myself, just going back to, I am really disrespecting God right now and who he made me to be. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting to like work out and feel good and look tone. And I think I truly believe there's a healthy balance in that. And I know I am my most confident when I feel most athletic. Just, I don't know, that's just something that I feel. And whether that's right or wrong, that's where I'm operating right now. But again, it comes from my identity in Christ. When I know that I am made uniquely by the Creator, that helps me a lot and takes a lot of pressure off of me. And truly believing that who God made me to be and constantly asking him for just new vision, new eyes to see myself as he sees me, to ask him to change my heart posture towards myself or how I see myself or those kinds of things really actually helps me in my confidence. Now swinging it to the athletic side of things, there was definitely moments, especially in college, where I struggled with my confidence on the floor, and that was just due to one, what coaches said about me, and two, me believing that, and also three, me not putting in the work to back up my skill set. Now, obviously, I got to college, I had at least some sort of skill set, but there were definitely times where I was sick or injured, where I was unable to perform at what I thought was my best, and that was a confidence hit for sure, because I was like, hey, my identity is in this sport. If I can't perform, if I can't make a coach proud, if I feel like I'm letting my team down, that was a huge confidence destroyer, which really sucks. And leads me to a point now where I actually talked about this on an upcoming podcast where I struggled a lot with pressure to proving. And one thing that I wish that former Jay would have done was focused way more on simply aiming to glorify the Lord. When I put my focus in that now, and my sole focus is I'm going to glorify the Lord. So I'm going to work in excellence. I'm going to work hard. I'm not going to operate in a laziness. To me, I glorify God, and then God handles the rest. If he wants to open a door and allow me to walk through it, he's going to do that. But when I am working towards a goal to help myself feel better or put myself higher, then all of that insecurity, all of that pressure to prove, all of those lies really just fill my head. But when I am operating out of, I am here to glorify God, to reflect how Jesus walked this earth, to be a light, to eventually hopefully bring people in and share the gospel with them. To be honest with you, my confidence is at a higher state, just because I know that I am trying to work to aim to glorify God instead of myself. And I wish athlete Jay would have done that in her career, because again, with the story is one of a teammate that I had. She was one of the hardest working girls I have ever met in my life, hardest working people, period. And I remember asking her one time, I was like, Jess, I was like, why, like, how do you work so hard? Like, what motivates you? And she literally said God. And she was a phenomenal player. She was like an all-conference player. She's one of our top scorers, one of our best players. And you could just tell she was operating from such a place of, I'm glorifying the Lord. He has given me this ability. He has opened the door for me to play college basketball. Now I'm going to reflect his light, and I'm going to be a good steward of this gift that he has given me. And ever since actually not just hearing her, but witnessing her and how she operated, that really changed my perspective. So I know that that was such a long-winded answer of how do I find confidence and battle insecurities, but that is my answer. Again, it's not easy. I'm not sitting here saying I have it all figured out. Those are just some tips and things that I've lived through that have helped me out. So, question number 3, something that was super hard, but you are grateful for. Honestly, probably when I stepped away from college basketball. Again, that's part of my story, and I would love to put that more into a one single podcast, but I'll just give you the rundown. I just transferred. I moved from a school that I actually loved my coach and I loved my teammates so much. They were amazing, but I hated the location and I wasn't a fan of how we played, like the style that we operate as a team. And my dream was always to come to California. So I ended up transferring. Long story short, I did not go to California. I ended up going to a school in Florida where I was going into my junior season and I was on a high. I was seriously on a high. I moved to Florida. I was like, whoa, I'm getting out of crappy weather. I'm in the sunshine. I'm on a team that is like the past few seasons was a number 1 ranked team, with a goal of actually winning a national championship. I was surrounded by players who were extremely talented. I was making a lot of good friends. I just got into a new relationship at that point, and I seriously was on this high. And when I tell you that came crashing down, I was at my lowest point. I lived with my teammates. I had like 5 other girls I was living with. I was in this basketball house. I don't know if I was depressed or not, but basketball was not a safe space for me. We'll just put it that way. I remember crying to my then boyfriend before going to practice and literally being like, I don't want to go, like crying. It was not a safe space for me. I just had some run-ins with the coach that was there. I remember I was exhausted all the time. I was falling asleep before practice, and I played 2 games and I stepped away. Now, that was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, because I literally stepped away from this game that I loved for so much. I worked my entire life up until that point to play college basketball, and I didn't even make it to a senior night. And that was one of the hardest things ever. I remember I walked outside, I sat in a driveway, and I was praying to God, asking what I should do. And I firmly believe he told me, walk away. And I did. And it was hard because, like I said, I lived with the basketball girls, with my teammates. And I was so lonely because they were at practice. They were traveling for games. They were doing team things. And I was in this empty house And at that same time, I again transferred schools as a junior. If any of you guys have done that, it's actually one of the hardest things because a lot of people already have established friend groups. I lived off campus and I got into a relationship. So I really actually didn't have that many opportunities to meet new people and friends and actually build that bond. And then at the same time, my relationship took a turn for the worse, extremely toxic. So I lost basketball. I was in a toxic relationship. I was dealing with a lot of loneliness. And at that time, I wasn't operating as the best Christian I could have and walking with the Lord. So that was really hard, which again, I know I keep pointing back to it, but it is part of my testimony where the Lord knew that my identity was only in basketball and who I was as a person of performance instead of just a person in Christ. And he used that as a separation season and he got me away, and then he obviously gave me back basketball. That's why I have this podcast. That's why I have my training business and I coach and all those things. So as hard of a year that was, probably that year and a half, 2 years was one the hardest I've ever had to go through, but I am so grateful because it brought me closer to the Lord. God was able to just break me down and build me back up again. I was able to start us girls basketball. And yeah, so that was like the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I would say that that was something super hard, but I am very grateful that I went through that moment. So yeah. Okay, question number 4. What's your most powerful tool for staying consistent? Okay. Athlete J. Let's go back to Athlete J. Me, I had a goal. My goal was to play college basketball. So for me, I stopped at nothing to get that. And if you guys don't know, I am 5'3". Okay, so that was hard enough. So I was drilled. It was drilled into my head to not let anything be an excuse. Just because I'm 5'3" doesn't mean anything. Work harder, get better. So for me, staying consistent was the end goal of getting a college scholarship, and also 2, helping me stay consistent was the people I surrounded me with. I was extremely blessed to have my dad, who literally was my coach and my strength coach and my personal trainer, who's everything all in one. And he is, again, so wise. And I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. He literally does this for a living. And I was blessed to have that. So being able to have a coach so close knit to me and really help me work was so awesome. I have an older cousin who played professional and was a really big college player. So I got to see him, and my goal was to model after him. I wanted to be he was the first guy in our family to make it to like the NBA and like pro, and I wanted to be the first, when I was younger, be the first girl to make it pro. So obviously I had to go college first. I obviously did not end up being pro, but being able to see that modeled was awesome, and to be in spaces where high performance or high caliber players were and being able to see their work ethic was really awesome. So I would say having a very specific goal in mind, and also to having accountability or people around you that push you to be better are the most powerful tools that you can have. And always checking back in with yourself and being like, do I still want this goal? I think that there's a misconception in athletics today that if I play this sport and I play club, or I put a lot of money into training, or I've been playing my whole life, that you have to keep taking it to the next level. And I actually don't believe that. I truly believe that you could be a very, very successful high school athlete and call it quits after your senior year and step away and be proud of what you did. I don't believe you have to go to college. So I don't know if that just maybe freed someone there or what, but yeah. So again, I would say the 2 most powerful tools to staying consistent for me would have been having a very specific goal and surrounding myself with people who could help me in that goal, stay consistent, accountability buddies, and people that I could look up to and learn from. So that's something huge. I apply that now in my life, where it's been a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It has been a struggle from post-athlete life and kind of stepping away from the game, and then heading into the pandemic, and having a really off balanced life. I didn't have a great workout balance, and that was really hard for me, and that's still hard for me, but I have people in my life that do love working out, so being able to join them and have them push me has been a big thing, and being consistent. So yeah, I would say that for sure. Those are my tools. Okay, question number 5, I think. What's the best habit you have? Okay, that kind of piggybacks off of the last question, where I'm still trying to really have good habits. It's been hard because, like I talked about, having that really specific goal. I have a lot of goals right now, and for me, it's about kind of honing in on that one specific goal or a few specific goals and working towards that. But the best habit that I have is honestly getting up in the morning and reading my Bible and journaling. Now, there's times where I'm not good at it. I will sometimes skip a morning or put off reading my word, and that's not okay. But I do find a difference when I take that, even if it's 10 minutes, to read and to journal and to pray and just kind of set my day up for success with centering it in the Lord. That has helped me a lot. And I wish I did that more as an athlete. I love journaling, but it was like an end of the night kind of thing. But I wish I actually established more of a morning routine and got up and read my Bible and journaled and just set myself up that way. So that would be my best habit that I have right now. But obviously I fail at that more than I wish I did. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about question number 6. I don't know what accent that was, but okay, ways to score as an undersized player. Okay, girl, again, talking about undersized player. I'm 5'3", so I had to learn how to score the basketball any way I could. I'm actually working with this with a lot of my athletes right now, is being able to score super crafty and uniquely. For me, I actually would love to do like a YouTube video on this, like a skills video. So be on the lookout for that if you guys would like it. But ways to score as an undersized player is learning how to score with the ball being away from your body. Being able to take contact. So I drive into the lane, I take contact, and I'm able to extend the ball, reach up, and float. Being able to have a knockdown jumper, a floater, extending your range as like for your 3-pointers. Those were big things for me. So again, I would say ways to score as an undersized player is to extend your range, get far behind that 3-point line, work on your strength, work on your 3-point shot. That's going to be really crucial. Learning how to score the ball away from your body, create contact, and allow the ball to go away from your body and score in unique ways that way inside the paint. And then also too, I would really have a knockdown jumper, because if you're a player that likes to attack, your defender is not going to know which one you're going to do. So if you're super aggressive and you learn how to have a really quick jumper, I believe that could help. It helped me. So yeah, ways to score as an undersized player. Okay, number 7. Talk about how important play is. Research shows that specializing early equals burnout. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. I believe that this question could actually be a podcast within itself. So I'd actually love to bring somebody on who can talk a little bit more in depth for that. But I do believe that too many athletes, as elementary, middle school, and even younger high school athletes, are specializing in one sport way too early, and that's all they do, and it will lead to burnout. I believe, and again, this has been something that has been talked about a lot, that I've actually been in conversations with, that I believe that young athletes need to play. They need to, and not go and play in club tournaments and play 6 games in a weekend. I mean, go to a park, roll the basketball out, and play. 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, eventually 5-on-5, but just playing for fun, playing to figure out coordination, and not being coached all the time. I see way too many players, and this is coming from a coach, being coached way too much. I think players need to figure things out for themselves and then come back and then get coached. More so younger. Obviously, when we get older, it's awesome to have a coach because you can learn and whatever. But I think when you rely sometimes too much on somebody telling you what to do, especially women athletes, because we have an innate nature and we have an innate nature to please. So we want to please what our coach is saying and do what our coach is saying. So I think we need to kind of just free for all play a little bit more, and instead of having that pressure of a coach looking at us, but especially young kids, I think that look, I just think that we don't. Okay, let me bring it back. I just think that we are playing organized sports too competitively too young. That's my hot take. And I actually just talked about this on my TikTok account, where there are some coaches. There are some coaches who are more concerned about a elementary school club tournament trophy than getting their players better and developing them for long term, because right, the whole point of club, the whole point of these things is for game exposure and to get these girls or boys better for the next level. But when we do things only to win and not to develop, and kind of put our pride to the side and be okay to get beat by a lot at a young age because we care about development, that's important, okay? So I know I got off on a little tangent there, but I agree with this person who kind of said this, is play is super important. Unorganized play is super important, and not specializing in a sport too young is going to help you eliminate burnout from your sports. And yeah, again, I love sports and I'm very competitive, and I believe that being competitive is super awesome and is a very cool thing. But when you are just go with one sport too young, and that's all you do, you are going to get burnt out. I've seen it too many times with teammates and people that I've already coached. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that is all that I have for today. Wow, that was fun. I'm so glad that I got to sit down and talk to you guys and just say hi. I know it's been a second, but I'm glad that I got to talk to you guys and answer some questions and share a little bit more about myself. I think that was super fun. Yeah, so if you guys want more of these Q&As, please comment down below or comment or message me on the IG, because I would love to do this more. I love sitting down and talking, and being able to share a little bit of my heart is really cool and really fun. So with that being said, guys, if you're watching this video, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We just got it up and running, and it would mean the world to me if we could subscribe, because it's definitely a risk walking away from my other YouTube channel that just has a little bit more subscribers. So if you guys could follow this would be amazing. Please rate this podcast as well, especially if you're on iTunes or Spotify. It just helps out so much. And share this with a friend or a teammate. If anything kind of hit home for you guys, I'm sure one of these things would be a great discussion for you to have with a teammate or a coach or a parent or just a friend or yourself, journaling or talking to God. I don't know. Yeah, I just encourage you guys to continue to press in to just some themes that are happening in your life, whether that is identity or confidence or comparison or pressure to prove. Of course, my first response would be to go pray and ask the Lord for just, some encouragement and some wisdom in that, but also to a trusted friend, coach, parent, teammate, whatever. Yeah, about any of these topics. And I'm always open to, if you guys have any questions, please message me. I would love to chat through some of these things with you guys. And yeah, but thank you for hanging with me. I hope you guys had a great time listening to this podcast, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.